Touching base. As I said, I'm going to keep these kind of shorter and more structured. So just to check in, my girlfriend's birthday was this past weekend. We went to the Scottish Highland Festivals and had a hell of a time. I drank too much, which led to me, crashing and burning in the shower later that evening. She bought me a sword, so that's cool. It's one of those like combat ready ones without an actual edge on it, but you can kind of beat up on it a little bit, and you can sharpen it and put an edge on it if you want to, but it's for like sparring, like fencing, sword and shield or that type of thing, reenacting. Most of the people that use those wear armor for that. That's cool. And then Sunday I kicked off a no alcohol 14-day stretch, like a 2-week with no alcohol thing. I'm not trying to quit drinking for good. It's a weight loss thing, so I'm getting kind of fat. So we're going to just go 14 days without alcohol and see if I notice any weight loss. If I do, I might extend it for a while longer, like maybe a whole month altogether, maybe 2 months, maybe 3. I don't know. I need to get under 190 pounds is all I know for sure, and I was at 209 when I weighed myself Monday. And I'm also on these Hydroxycut over-the-counter diet gummies, which I actually have to eat one right now. I've been eating 4 a day. It recommends eating 1 dose of 2 before a meal twice a day, but I've just been stretching them out, like one, every 3 hours or so in my waking hours. Because I feel that for me, because I'm sensitive to stimulants and caffeine, would be smarter. And I'm also back to logging my calories on my my Fitbit app, because you can scan barcodes and it finds the nutritional information. I'm not on a crazy diet like no carbs or anything ridiculous, but I am going by macros, and so as such, I'm just keeping my calories below what I'm burning. Yesterday I was in like a 1,200, 1,400 calorie deficit. The day before that it was like, I don't know, 500 or 600. I'm not trying to be drastic with it. It just works out that way sometimes. I mean, my girlfriend had dinner made for me last night. It was a lot of food, but a lot of it was like there was a salad with nothing but lettuce, a little bit of shredded cheese, and some sauce in it, which there's like no calories in that. But it's a lot of food to put inside of your body. I also ate like a whole steamer bag of like the blend with peas and mushrooms in it. And then I had one of those meat trays that you microwave, like, entrees from the refrigerated aisle. Like, you got meatloaf or burnt ends or beef tips or whatever, one of those types of things. I think it was pork carnitas, whatever. I use spicy mustard to dress it up because there's no calories and all flavor in that, and I like spicy brown mustard. That was good. I haven't weighed myself again because you need to give it time to percolate, so my next weigh-in will be Monday, and I will keep you guys in the loop on that, how that looks, if there's any improvement. Meanwhile, my beard's been growing out. I've only really been trimming my neck up top here and then in this little swoop area, and to keep the mustache hairs out of my mouth, but otherwise I'm just letting it go crazy. I maybe trim it every 7 or 10 days. Like, it's been amazing going on a no-shave vacation. Not having to screw around with anything. Electric razors are easy to use, but it still work. So that's cool. I lost a side view mirror on my car. Got knocked clean off by a garbage can that was part way in the road. It was in a 2-lane road on a curve, and it was a blind curve, so if I would have got over in the other lane, I could have gotten a head-on collision, and so I tried to swoop around as best I could. Clipped it, took my entire mirror clean off. Of course, with these modern cars, there's a wire pigtail that goes into the car, so it's hanging by the wiring harness off the side of my car. I had to take my entire passenger door apart to remove the mirror entirely. And I have not ordered a new one yet. I really would like to, but again, new car. This is a 2019 Toyota Camry XSE, which is the top trim level, fully loaded. So the mirror has blind spot monitoring, a heated glass element. It has the built-in turn signal in it, and it has a camera that points down underneath it for bird's eye camera suite, so that you can see around all 4 corners of your car. From the Toyota manufacturer, they want about $1,000 for it. It was on markdown. They wanted $700 for it, and I'm like, still too high. Then I found out that rockauto.com actually has the mirror for $300 plus some ungodly amount for shipping and handling, like $75 or something, which is still cheaper. The only catch is it's not painted to match, it's just black. But for the Toyota Camry, because my trim level has paint matched mirror hoods, those paint matched mirror hoods can come to you for like $42 from the manufacturer, and it's color coded to my car, so it's guaranteed to match my paint. So for another $42 after I get the new mirror on, I can make it right again, and it'll look like it never happened. Hooray! So that sucked. What else has been going on? Working. I went 4-day week right before Christmas, and then because of Christmas I had a 3-day week because Christmas was on Monday and the boss wanted to take Tuesday off too. And then after that was New Year's Eve week, so I had another 4-day week. So 4, 3, 4, and then we went back to a 5-day week last week, and then we're doing a 5-day week this week. And I gotta tell you, my stamina, I'm really having trouble with like keeping up with the workload. Like, we're a lot of work, so like I'm wore out right now. Like, I wake up and I'm just like beat up already just from yesterday, and I'm staying with it, and I'm a trooper. I'm not gonna sit here and like whine about it. It's construction. It's gonna be hard stuff. And then I don't always do the same thing every day. It's not like I'm just a roofer or just a concrete finisher. So yesterday we tore off the roof on a mobile home. Now we're putting those shingles back on today. The day before that and the day before that, we were taking apart store shelving inside of an outlet at a mall that used to be a Bell's. So I got to screw around with that. You have no idea how many shelves there were, and they were all wood. It's big ass shelves. So like I don't even know how many like hundreds of shelves I moved, but I am not exaggerating. Over those 2 days, I probably moved around about better than 6 tons worth of just arbitrary, wooden shelving. So that was fun. But I like my job because no 2 days are identical, and I've been on a couple of roofing jobs, but they've all been different. Like one was a patch job, another one was a patch job, one was a whole house tear off and replacement. This one was a whole mobile home tear off and replacement. It was shingled, but they used staples, and I've never seen that before, so that was cool. And it's nice to mix things up and keep from getting bored. So I'm going with it, and it's good work for getting fit, because now I'm like doing better about my calorie, like burning calories. So like if I manage my diet carefully and I keep working hard, I'm pretty much in it to win it and get in my ideal weight bracket. So that's all good stuff. I'm very tired, but it's all good stuff. The money hasn't really been rolling in. I mean, I'm getting paid better than I was at my previous job, but I'm so behind on my bills because I went into this job without savings. So I'm still behind on my car payments a little bit. Like, I'm making partial payments and then running late paying off the rest. They're getting mad at me about that. My credit score has been nosediving because I defaulted on 4 out of 5 cards. So the 5th card, owned by my bank, they just said, you know what, you're such a loser and you have such crap credit and you got these delinquent marks. We're just going to drop you. We're going to drop you like a sack of potatoes. And so they closed that credit account. Now, I don't know about where my car payment falls into this, like how the loan, the company that gave me my loan for my car feels about me right now, but I think I qualify for a bankruptcy, but I don't know like I'm set to make my last car payment on January of 2026. I'm going to try to pay it off by the end of next spring, a little early by making some extra payments, but I don't know if I can manage it or not. It depends on how this job works out. We'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic they're not going to try to repossess my car because I have bad credit, because I think they'd rather have the money over the beat up car. I almost want to have a conversation with them about it, call them and ask them these things and see if they can get some answers, because if they're just going to take my car anyways, I might as well just stop paying on it. And then file for bankruptcy and then be like, I don't owe nobody anything ever again. They tell you not to do bankruptcy because it hurts your credit score, but how do you think your credit score feels like when you're in the low 400s because you owe on 5 different cards? I really tried not to be in this situation. I really did. And I was doing good up until like about, I think, April of last year. I went to PNC Bank, my bank. I asked for a debt consolidation loan. Let's handle this responsibly. So what we'll do is we'll take out exactly enough money to pay off all these cards, and then we'll do a 36 or 48 month term loan. And I even agreed to higher interest so that they'd, accept my request. And then the payment on that would have been lower than the minimum payment on all these cards, and then it would all have been paid off. And I would have had stellar credit. My credit actually would have improved, despite the fact I found myself in this pickle. Now, you ask yourself, Slothy, why do you default, or why do you max out on all these cards? Well, that whole COVID thing really wrecked life for a lot of people, and my life was in chaos. And then right after all that stuff happened, we basically had to move because our previous landlord, after the COVID thing ended, just started throwing people out. Now, we'd been paying our rent the whole time, but they just wanted all new tenants so that they could charge more in rent. See, they can't up our rent but by a certain percentage per year, but if they throw us out, they can charge whatever they want for rent for the next occupant. And so we had to move, which meant I had to get another job because Uber was not going to be a good fit for where I was moving to, because they'd been cutting my pay for like the last 18 months that I was doing it for. And here I am going over my time limit. I said I'd try to keep these to 10 minutes, but this is an update. So anyways, the Uber thing just stopped being lucrative. And then on top of that, if you drive in the Orlando area, they pay you like a criminally low amount of money. Like, I've driven people from like Disney to the airport for like $20-something, and it took me over an hour to get there because of traffic. And then they didn't tip. So like, Orlando's a garbage can. May it rot in hell. So then I had to get another job, and everybody says they're hiring, but nobody actually calls me back when I apply for any given position under the sun. And then when I start, answering prefer not to answer to my race and ethnicity, and I start saying things like prefer not to answer to my gender, or that I'm non-binary or whatever, all of a sudden I start getting calls back. But still, that's like 3 weeks after I apply. So, you can't just apply for a job and wait 3 weeks to get money. The people that hold your car note, in my situation, or the people that turn on or turn off your electricity don't care about, oh, it'll just be another 3 weeks, I promise. They want their money. So what do? If you look at me physically, I'm not the right appearance for the government to just be like, oh, here, well, let us fix that by just giving you a pile of money. It doesn't work that way. I don't have the right organs. I don't have the right amount of kids without daddies. So, no help. I got through it though, and not very well. My girlfriend, I kind of owe her my entire existence because, she was working throughout and was able to float us both for rent and a couple of other things at our new place for a little while. And then, I went to do that other construction gig. I didn't have to tell them I was non-binary and prefer not to answer on my race, because they just needed people that would work really hard, and I did. I would have stayed with them forever. I actually liked the work I did there. I liked the people that I worked with for the most part, except for some of my coworkers were profoundly lazy and just kind of trash. You can't just have your phone in one hand while you're working all day, and then have me over here putting in extra time, fixing your mistakes, doing my own work, and then I'm getting paid the same as them. It's not, no. And that's not the manager's fault, because he doesn't see it. He's not there to see it. And I'm not ratting these people out because, look, dude, it's construction. Drama, inter-office politics, and gossip do not apply there. We're all men. These dudes want to slack off. That's their business. And if they get caught, I expect them to be either disciplined or punished or fired. But honestly, they weren't, because there was another facet playing out, and that was the minority thing. I wasn't one, everybody else was. So, who are they going to side with? There's a little bit of tribalism there. Never really goes away. So I saw the writing on the wall, and I was there probably the longest on that crew when they looked for a lead in training. I was very, very, very eligible. I put in the time. I was there early all the time. I was highly responsible. I was detail-oriented. I was obsessed with high quality. And they went with somebody else. Somebody that looked more like not me. Which, basically, other than the general manager, the entire management structure at that place looks not like me. So how do you think that's going to play out? So it went that way, and so I just left, because I'm not gonna be a victim of just being what I am, what I was born as, and then not get promoted because of it. I'm going to leave. I'll find greener pastures where people don't basically just judge me on the fucking color of my skin, you know, and actually judge me by the content of my productivity. Which, if you're a company trying to make money, you would think that was the first thing on your mind. Which, by the way, veering over into ranting for just a moment, is why, even though I was always leery of flying on airlines in the past, I absolutely now, moving forward, will never fly on an airline ever again, because of all the diversity hiring is making that shit profoundly unsafe. The people putting the planes together, the people maintaining the planes, the people flying the planes are no longer competent. They're so obsessed with hiring people that look a certain way and have certain genitals and identify as a certain way that they're no longer picking the people that need to be picked to actually fly the fucking plane and get you safely to where you're going to go. In the last year, in 2023, they had a record number of near misses in the sky that basically sums up over 40 years of flight in like 1 year of near misses. Like, it has never been more unsafe to fly. It's supposed to be the safest way to travel, but I don't know what to tell you. I'd rather just drive myself, and if I can't do that, I don't even know if I want to take a boat. Like, I would like to go see Norway, I'd like to go to Europe, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to because of all this diversity hiring shit. Even taking a boat, maybe the captain's going to be some transracial amputee prostitute that identifies as a furry instead of somebody that's really good at piloting a ship. I just don't get it. Why don't you just pick people that are good at the job? And then the people that aren't good at the job can go do something else. What else is that other thing? I don't know what to tell you. You either prioritize yourself or you prioritize the work. And I personally prioritize the work over myself, and maybe that's not healthy. Maybe that makes me a workaholic. Maybe that's a bad work-life balance, but I want more than what I have, and so the only way to get that is to earn it. And the best way to earn it, not the only way, but the best way to earn it is to give 110% to what you're doing. If you care more about your gender expression and you care more about wokeism than you do about getting things done, it should follow that you excel at wokeism and you excel at expressing your gender identity, and you get paid less to somebody that puts more effort into getting the work done. In a perfect world, that's what would happen, but we're not living in that. We're living in a goddamn mess. It's not going to end out well. It's not going to end up well for anybody. All these complex systems like airlines, internet, and all of it relies upon expertise and hard work. And when that gets overturned in favor of this ESG shit, your way of life as you know it is over. And then you will either work or starve at that point, because once the government collapses, because they just financially can't, they become unviable. They already are, but they're just borrowing against the future at this point. But once they can't print no more money and basically people are like, fuck your dollar, it's worthless. Excuse me. That's it. You either plant the potato or you don't get to eat the potato. It'll come to that. And then somebody will come to your door saying, I don't want to plant a potato to eat the potato. I want to eat your potato since you planted extra. And then my 12 gauge will tell you to fuck yourself. And then you can go starve. Like, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to be, unkind, as it were. I don't want to be uncharitable, but charity only comes from abundance. And if there's not an abundance, then people can't be charitable. Why would I starve myself to feed you? If there's only two of us and there's one apple, in your mind you're like, just split the apple in half. But what about my tomorrow? Like, what am I going to eat tomorrow? I was going to split that apple in the fourths and make it last over 4 days. Why should I eat 2 days less just because you didn't go get yourself an apple? You need to go get yourself an apple. And it's not going to be my apple, because that's my apple. That's not your apple. It's not our apple. It's mine. And once it comes down to the base equation of whoever has the most capacity to, exert force, that's going to be who says what goes. And a lot of these pink-haired idiots and these blue-haired land whales don't have the power to exert force to the same level as those of us who are out here just trying to work as hard as we can to build a life for ourselves. We're more devoted to the cause of having a better life than they are. We will fare better if things go hard for a while, and we will be left alone, or else. We're not going to impose our will on others. We're not going to be tyrants. We're just going to want to be left alone, and we will be left alone, or somebody will pay dearly for provoking us. It's very Jeffersonian. It's really the spirit this country was built upon. And if I'm doing well enough and people leave me alone often enough, it could come to pass that I have so much excess and so much lesser success that, like, I have the means to help other people. And if I have the means to help other people, I always help other people. This is a fact. Like, anytime I find myself in abundance, I start helping out people. Anytime I'm hard up, I can't help anybody because I'm hard up. Don't have enough. So really, we'll see where that goes. And, here it is 20 minutes and 30 seconds later, and I totally failed to keep to my schedule as I promised I would. I don't know. I get to ranting and raving a little bit. But to bring it all back into the progress report, I'm doing okay. And I look forward to sharing my weight on Monday with y'all. We were at 209.4 pounds this Monday. So what I'm shooting for is about 206 to 207 pounds. 2 pounds a week is ambitious. I won't be able to sustain that, but for the first week, I'd like to see about at least 2 pounds gone. And then I'm going to probably go for a pound a week after that, because we want sustainable weight loss, not just sudden weight loss that comes right back. Anyways, that's all from me for now. I will be streaming this Sunday. We're going to do some video games after my weekly roundup. I have been taking some pictures and stuff of what I've been doing all week, so I can share that. And I look forward to sharing that with you all so that you can kind of just see what I do. And yeah,